All right, so I've had many firsts in the technology field. And many of those times during those firsts, I've always had this weird, strange feeling in the pit of my stomach, and I never really understood what it could be. I would start my first day ready to learn, build new relationships, and most importantly for me, understand how to manage organizations. But still deep down, there was something there that I just truly did not understand. And eventually, I finally recognized what that small feeling was, and it was something called imposter syndrome. But before I get to my talk, I want to say good evening. My name is Faith Spencer, and I'm a recent college grad from Purdue University main campus, where I double majored in cybersecurity, network engineering, with a minor in organizational leadership, as well as the certificate in Entrepreneurship and Innovation. I am the current president and CEO of Ironworks Corporation, which is a nonprofit business incubator focused on teaching minority students as well as small businesses about entrepreneurship, but most importantly, the entrepreneurial mindset. And because that's not enough, I am also a technology consultant full-time. All right, so like I said, I've had many firsts, and this whole talk is talking about responding in the workplace. And learning about responding in the workplace has really taken me aback. So you guys are probably wondering, what are these words? And just bear with me just for a second, and I'll get you up to speed. So if you guys want to participate by answering these questions for me, that would be greatly appreciated. So the first question is, how many in here has ever played a game? Okay, nice. How many of you guys have ever played a video game? Oh, I love that. All right, so keep your hands raised if you played a video game that requires you, that's consisted of, something like warfare, so Call of Duty, boxing games, or games that are action-packed that causes you to respawn in the middle of the game. All right, good. I love that. For those of you who understand. But for those of you who don't, just keep walking with me a little bit longer. So I'm going to talk about Call of Duty. Actually, no. Let's talk about a multi-generational game, Pac-Man. Everyone in this room has played Pac-Man, right? Yes. I love that. I really do. Okay, so you have 3 lives. And 9 times out of 10, you're eating those nuggets and the ghost finally catches up to you. And just like that, you lose your life, right? Well, that act of coming back to life is called respawning. And when you respawn, you're coming back to the game in the mid-environment as if nothing ever happened. But that's the thing, though. Something did happen. Something did change. And you know it, but does anyone else know it? I don't know. So, with that being said, I want to tell you about my story. But first, I want you guys to draw a parallel between the workplace and video games. You have challenges, you ask questions, and most importantly, you strive to achieve all your goals. Well, it's the same thing for me. Like I said, recently I've graduated from college. I've started this gig full time, and I've had many firsts in industries such as energy and utilities and education. And so for me, getting settled into this new portion of my life, it has been a part of imposter syndrome for me. I've struggled with, showing my skills as well as speaking up. And surprisingly, for those of you in this room who know me, Faith does not struggle to speak up. I mean, seriously, I can be just about ready to put my foot in my mouth and I'm still gonna say something. And for those of you who understand exactly what I'm saying right now, I'm talking to you and anyone else that may want to listen. Imposter syndrome can cause you to feel lost, perplexed, and not really understand what's going on. And honestly, for me, I get up every morning and I roll over to my desk, and yes, let me tell you that work from home life is amazing. But also, sometimes I get up and I decide to go into the office. But every time I have this mindset of, not today, Faith. We're going to show them who you are. But as you guessed, nothing changes. Imposter syndrome can feel like this unbeatable boss level. It takes your courage and knocks you down. It has you second guessing your skills. And you're wondering like, I don't know who I am anymore, right? Yeah, well, just like in video games, you have the ability to respond in the workplace. We have these things in games called specials or power-ups. And well, they exist in the workplace too. And so for me and for you, you have to recognize what they are, look into your arsenal and see, okay, this is what I have and this is what I can use. But for me specifically, I like to have 3 different things. And one of them is called, what I like to say, the feedback elixir. When I'm talking, when I'm working on a project and I don't really understand if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'll reach out to my project manager or my project lead and say, hey, I'm not really sure if this is what you're looking for. Then I'll step back and embrace what he's gonna tell me, whether that's positive or constructive, because guess what? That's all a part of the growing process. And then next, I have what I like to call the tree of skills. And I know a lot of you are wondering, like, the tree of skills, what in the world does that mean? And well, that's from a statement that my dad happens to have always told me growing up, and he still says it today. And speaking of, I gotta give a shout out to my pops. I love you. But also, I gotta give a shout out to my mom too, love her. Hey listen, I don't want to disappear after this TED Talk, so I gotta tell them that I love them equally all the time, okay? But in all seriousness though, my dad has always said, you don't have to be the brightest bulb on the tree. The goal is to just simply be bright. And for those of you that don't understand what I'm saying, he's essentially saying that I don't have to be the subject matter expert in every single topic. Quite personally, I don't want to be the subject matter expert in every single topic. That is exhausting, quite literally. I told you everything that I'm doing, right? And so to try to learn everything in the technology field, that's just not of interest. So look to your team. When you're having those discussions and you're asking those questions, ask them, because that's how you learn. And last but not least, I have what I like to call the social boosters. And this is my favorite one because it's my support system. And it may look different for each and every one of us. But for me specifically, my support system involves my family, my friends, and my coworkers. And actually, for a matter of fact, I have representation from all 3 tonight. Can we just give them a round of applause? Because they are the reason why I do a lot of the work that I do. And so, they push me to keep going. And most importantly, you have to think about that too, right? Does your support system encourage you? Do they motivate you? Do they tell you what you need to hear or what you want to hear, right? Those are all important things to think about. Build your support system. For me, I like to sometimes, I'm like really stressed out or I'm pressed about something, and I'll look to my friends in the office as well as friends in the nearby offices in the city, and I'll say, hey, like, let's go get something to eat, or we'll go down to the basement and go bowling and play some shuffleboard and just talk and try to really understand why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling. But I'm saying all of this because video games, you fail in video games and you fail in the workplace. But the important thing to do is, recognize that you are gonna level up, right? You're gonna level up, and that's great. Sometimes you just have to stop, think, breathe, reset, and respawn. And just like that, you're back in the game. And for that, I'm saying, it's all about gaining experiences. And as my dad likes to say, sometimes just keep on living. It's gonna come. Just keep on living, keep on growing. And just like that, you will have reached your definition of success. Thank you.